Hey y'all, Micah Burgess here. Thanks for joining me on today's podcast episode of My Doula Micah. I'm going to be talking about birth prep, and I have a few, maybe top 5 things that are the most important things to me. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm just telling you the top 5 things that I believe are the most beneficial when you're preparing for birth. Enjoy. Okay, let's go, gang. All right, I'm going to jump right on in to what I think are the most important things. Well, let me just put it this way. As far as I'm concerned, to me, concerning birth prep, these are the most important things to me. And I'm keep saying it that way because you can talk to somebody else. It might be a doctor, another doula, a friend, your sister who's had several babies, and their answer may be different than mine of what they believe to be the most important things concerning birth prep. But I'm just giving you mine. So you can take them, run with them, see how they work for you. You may know right off the bat, oh no, I hated number 3, never going to do that in the whole wide world. Fine, totally fine. But a lot of people are curious. If I'm talking about birth prep to a client or for myself, when I was having a baby, what did I find to be the most beneficial for me that set me up well and success at the birth? Okay. So for me, one of the number 1 things is to drink red raspberry leaf tea, or you can take it in capsules. If you don't like the way that tea tastes, it's fine. But it's not like a red raspberry flavor. It is red raspberry leaf. That's important that you get the right one. And the reason why I recommend this and I want for my clients to do this is because of the vast benefits of red raspberry leaf. So the main benefit, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that it helps to tone your uterus. I was just talking to somebody about this today. A long time ago, everybody walked everywhere. There weren't really vehicles that took you to different places. And so walking really does help tone your uterus. And we just, golly, I just want to say we simply can't walk enough. You go into the gym and walking, for an hour, 3 or 4 days a week, it doesn't match what they used to do a long time ago. So the red raspberry leaf really does help focus on toning your uterus. And the reason we want your uterus toned is it's a muscle, right? And it is about to get overworked in labor. There's just not another way to put it. And so the constant contracting, you want your uterus to be ready to do that and not be lazy or give out. And that doesn't happen to every mom. But again, having a toned uterus is huge. There's lots of other benefits. Check out red raspberry leaf tea, but that's the main one for me in terms of benefits. And then a top one for me, you guys, is perineal massage. So I'm sure a lot of you are hearing this and you're going, what? Is she crazy? I'm just telling you my experience, okay? And the benefits of this for me. You guys know I've had 6 kids. First 5 were all natural, vaginal deliveries, okay? And I did not tear with any of my kiddos. And I had pretty big babies ranging, let's see, the smallest was 8, 10. That was my smallest baby. And then my largest baby was 12 pounds, but we don't count her because that's obscene. The next largest was 9.5 pounds and I didn't tear. Okay. And I don't think that's because I'm Superwoman and I don't know, have a super vagina. No, that's not what it is. It's because I believe that there were a couple things that I did. And one of the main ones was perineal massage. Now you can do this on yourself. I found that very tricky and very hard to do. It's hard to relax. And so thankfully my husband was willing to help me. And it's the last 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy. We did this every night for about 15 or 20 minutes. And it's important to be relaxed while this is happening. It's also important that the partner understands and knows that this is a very sensitive area. And so the first couple of times of this massage need to be just light touching. I mean, she's just not going to be able to stand very much. And so the goal, and I know this sounds crazy to some of you, but some people think this, The goal is not to stretch this person out to a 10, how big a baby's head is. First of all, you can't do that. That's not what it's about. It's about the perineum is super tight and you want it to be relaxed, a little bit stretchy, so that as baby's head comes down, as baby's head is descending, that band, can y'all see this? I don't know if y'all can see this. I mean, if you're listening, you certainly can't see it, but I'm stretching out my index finger and my thumb, and that band right between there, if I'm pulling it really tight and taut, it's strong. Okay. But if I relax those fingers a little bit, now it's more pliable, it's softer, and that's what we're looking for. And so during perineal massage, you need to use a carrier oil for sure, one that is safe, and you gently apply pressure, slightly rub, massage on both sides and low. Okay. And again, start off really slow. And then you'll gradually, the pressure and the massaging will be a little bit firmer, a little bit stronger. And we don't want this to be painful. We don't want mama to be rubbed raw. We don't want any of that, right? It's supposed to benefit when it comes time for baby's head to descend. And what I found for myself is that perineal massage, I focused on relaxing those muscles. My husband could tell, and he could apply pressure and say, oh, you're tight right here. Try to relax that right there. And I would focus on it, and I would relax it. And he goes, there you go. And we got to the point, week 3 for sure, where it just wasn't a big deal. Didn't hurt at all. It wasn't hard. I hardly had to focus. I was relaxed. And so I really think that made a huge difference, you guys, when it came time to push. Okay. So that is my suggestion. And another great benefit of the perineal massage is, like I said, I was focused on relaxing. While I'm experiencing pressure, I'm focused on relaxing. And that's huge, not just in pushing, but in labor as well. Do you know how to relax and drop your shoulders? Okay, that's a big one for me. Another one is going back, kind of piggybacking on the pushing part. I think it's really beneficial, very helpful while you're pregnant, that when you have to have a bowel movement, especially if you're feeling a little constipated, to focus on what you're doing, to actually practice. Okay. I know that sounds dumb, but I promise you, we tell so many of our clients, hey, you gotta push, almost like you're pooping baby out. That's where you gotta focus on pushing. And it's true. That is where you have to focus pushing. It's very similar. And so if you're sitting on the potty, you're relaxed. Take note of that you're relaxed. You're not tight. And especially if you're constipated, not only are you having to relax, you're also having to push at the same time, which is kind of tricky, kind of hard to do. But if you'll focus on that while you're pregnant, then when it comes time to push, you will be more familiar with those muscles and what that feels like. That pressure in your bottom, you're going to have it. Most women say, oh my gosh, I'm about to poop. I got to poop. Right. That's baby's head. That's the way it's supposed to feel. And you'll be more familiar with that sensation and what you need to be doing. Y'all are going to love that tip. I promise it's going to benefit you. Another really important thing to me that I think is an important part of birth prep is you need to know what your postpartum plan is. So let me address this first. If you have children already, you definitely need to know what your postpartum plan is. You need to have people on the ready, first of all, when you go into labor, that are available to help you with kiddos. If you have, and then once you get home, if you find that it is going to be beneficial, if your toddler is away at grandma's for a few days while you come home with newborn, then go ahead and get that in motion. If you don't have family in town, do you want them to come in town? What about friends or neighbors? Can they be ready and available? So who's going to do help with meals? What about light house cleaning or run into the grocery store for you guys? So a lot of couples, especially first time parents, you like the idea of, hey, it's just going to be us, us and the baby. We got this. We can do it. And you absolutely can't do it. But I'm just going to give you guys a quick little warning that your partner is also going to be exhausted. All right. Because however long birth was, they weren't sleeping during that time either. And they're helping with baby. Maybe they're up during the night as well. And so they're going to be tired, and they're trying to hopefully assist you in your recovery and taking turns holding baby or whatever. So who is going grocery shopping? And a lot of women don't want their partners to leave to go grocery shopping. Like, no, you stay here. Somebody else can bring us our groceries. You know, HEB now can deliver. Do y'all have an HEB? I don't think Nationwide has an HEB. Maybe that's just a Texas thing. That's a grocery store. We have curbside delivery, or they deliver to your door. I'm sure you guys do too, for your local grocery store. That's super helpful now. That was not available when I was having babies. So we really relied on other people. So I'm not saying that you need to have, you need to be surrounded by all these people, super hands-on, and, y'all don't have any time alone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, think through life. And what is going to be helpful? What will help you recover and enjoy this time and really enable you to relax? So have a plan, whatever your plan is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be my plan or anybody else's, but what is your plan? What would you like to do? And then my last one is potentially controversial. I really believe that if you know that you are in control, then you don't have to fight for what you already have. So let me explain. In the hospital, there is a set of rights that every patient has, and it is typically posted in the lobby of every wing or floor, whatever it is. And it's nationwide. The rights are there. And if you read these rights, you'll be a little surprised as to why people are having to fight for what they want and what they don't want, because you hold all the cards. Nobody can touch you if you don't give them permission. Nobody can do anything to you if you have not signed something or given permission. They can't. They're not allowed. So I say that to say this, that enables you, especially you mamas, as you're going into this experience, first-time parents, going into this experience, what in the world should we expect? Or I'm not sure I want to do this or that. If you already know that you hold all the cards and they have to do what you say and they cannot do what you don't give them permission for, like I said, there's nothing to fight for. You have all the rights. You hold all the cards, and they know that, right? And so I find that when we prepare our clients in that way, none of us are going in preparing for a fight. None of us are going in with our dukes up already, ready to just set the world straight. We're going in relaxed, calm, knowing that this mama is ultimately in control. And so then when something is brought up, maybe an intervention, maybe a suggestion or a concern, you don't have to panic. You don't have to freak out because they brought that up, because they suggested it. You get to think about it, weigh it, talk about it, and then decide. Nah, not ready to do that right now. Okay, we're done. We're into the conversation, and your doctor can continue to give you the reasons why. And then at some point you can go, I got it. I heard what you said. But you've said there's not an emergency. And so right now, my preference is to keep doing what I'm doing, not to have that intervention, because there's not an emergency. I feel like baby and I are fine. But thank you for the suggestion and the concern. And I'll let you know if I change my mind. You just get to end the conversation. So that's my opinion. I think that mindset, honestly, just having the knowledge is what really helps. You go, oh, okay. I have all the rights. I don't have to fight for anything. Great. And then move on. And I have found our experience here where we live in Waco with the hospitals, the doctors, midwives, labor and delivery nurses. I have found that if we're not, if we know that we're in control and we know that what we say goes, then they kind of have to follow suit. I mean, we don't usually have to draw this big line in the sand and threaten and say, don't come back into this room because you're not listening. We just don't have to do that. And I also say, I am sorry for any of you guys that have had to do that have had to draw a line in the sand, that you feel like you are having to fight for your rights and that they are not listening to you, and your concerns that you're about to be taken advantage of, or maybe you were taken advantage of. Golly, I am so sorry, you guys. That's awful. It truly is awful. And it's hard for me to wrap my head around, if I was going to be honest. But if we are talking about realistic, ethical doctors and nurses that know what's right and what's wrong, then I think when you go in with this mindset, I really believe that it'll help you feel and know that you're in control. And I think that's a big deal. I know for me, when I was in labor, not just knowing that I was in control of the situation or the room or my choices, but knowing I was in control of my body and what was happening, and me, I've got all the power. I've got all the cards. Man, that is inspiring and that is empowering. And you, my goodness, can do so much with that knowledge. So those are my top things in terms of birth prep. Hopefully, a couple of those were super beneficial and helpful for you guys to hear. And as always, if there was something that I said that you're like, I don't know about that one, Micah, let's talk it out, then reach out. I would love to do that. I appreciate you guys today. Thank you for listening to My Doula Micah. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at My Doula Micah. We can also get connected at mydoulamicah.com. If you're interested in checking out my book, the link to The Humor in Birth, Stories and Insights from a Doula can be found on all of these social platforms. Be sure to share and subscribe. I'll be here next week, so please be sure to join me again. And this podcast was produced by Rogue Media Network.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.